Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Classy, right?
How long have you been standing there?
10 seconds.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know you were
Did the shot? Did I ruin the shot?
Have you lost weight?
Did I ruin the shot?
I did lose weight. I felt...
Good morning. That time of the morning anyway.
I don't know. We always pass.
It's a great privilege to be able to serve in church and to be part of such a great movement and what's happening at Westlife Church. And you know, one of the great things about coming together and sitting around a table is the opportunities just to talk and hear each other's hearts and see what's happening in our departments and what's happening in our world and the things that punch our buttons, the thing that really gets us excited.
My heart is that we never have a community care department. I want a church that is community care, that we're all out there doing random acts of kindness.
Sunday is when we have the glorious big church, and then in the rest of the week, friends get together in small groups, small church, pray, minister, share, and just champion each other on to be the very best in God.
Can you imagine a church where pastoral care is not about one person or a group of people caring for others, but a group of people that are responding to the words of Jesus that said, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Like the Church of Acts, where you know, where when we do well, like Jesus, how he loved people, and actually bringing the church into the community instead of more worry about bringing them in, is like we're breaking all barriers. We're having generation, you know, younger people doing their bits and older people doing their bits, but we're all speaking the same language and having that love that, you know, people's going to walk in and feel like, wow, what you are doing, I want to do it too, you know, at my workplace, at my community.
We came down from, Merv and I, my husband and I, came down from Rockhampton in 2005, and we went along to Garden City Church, and we didn't know what we were going to do, but we had asked God to just direct us to where we were going to go. We were going along to Garden City, and the pastor there at the time, you know, was asking us how we were going and where we were living, we were told, and he said, oh, that's funny because we're going to be launching a church out at Springfield Lakes. There was only 22 of us, and I remember that very first meeting, there was probably about 45 people altogether, counting us. And each week there was some that came and just grew from that. Each week there'd be a few more. But I remember we had to all be there. Every person that was on the launch team had to be there to help set up and pack down, and we had to do everything. Yeah, we were both on the ministry team, the very first ministry team, and I know that Merv was one of the first elders and appointed elders, and he he shaped a lot of people's lives, you know, like he talked to a lot of people. And I guess Andrew lent on him a little bit to start, you know, in those early days. And then after we'd been in Westlife for, I think it was 2005 to 2008, about 3 years, we had Merv was found out that he had esophageal cancer, and but I remember him sitting down and telling our life group, and he just said to them, "I want you to pray for me for healing, but if God doesn't heal me, then I'm ready to go home." And I remember, you know, we prayed, and everyone in the church prayed for him. We all got around him and laid hands on him and really believed that God was going to heal him. And for me personally, right up until about a few days before he died, I believed that he was going to be healed, that God was going to heal him. Westlife were there for me, and without them, I don't know how I would have got through it. And I mean, not that, yeah, I just don't know how I would have got through it. And without God, you know, if I hadn't have had God in my life, I don't know how I would have managed, you know. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and I just love Westlife. And I just can't wait to see what God's going to do in Westlife.
The beautiful thing about Kids Church is that it's not just the parents that are raising the children, because to raise a child you need absolutely everybody inputting into their lives.
Actually empowering them to go into their schools, that everyone in our kids ministry is teaching to everyone in their schools. Doesn't matter from prep to high school, that they're all empowered to actually teach and become disciplers in their own schools.
I love waking up in the morning and seeing the sun as it begins to fill my room. It's that feeling of I can start new, I can start fresh, that yesterday's gone, it's finished, and I can start with a new plan in mind for today and a new goal. As I'm brushing my teeth, having a shower, I'm contemplating life, I'm thinking about God, I'm thinking about those special God moments in that time. I'm thinking about the appointments that I will have for that day. And I like to reflect on people and the lives that have been touched and changed. I think of the journey that God has brought me on. To get to this point in time, in the future, fast forward, and I reflect on the past and where I've come from. Our lives are a result of the choices that we make in our lives, and how precious it is for believers in Jesus who are hearing from God to be able to follow that path that God has for them. The promise the Bible tells us is that God will do things for our good, not for our evil, and He would prosper us and give us a hope in the future. I love the calling that I'm appointed to. I love the fact when I see people all around me awakening and enjoying God, enjoying hearing from God. As I prepare myself this morning, I'm thinking about all the people around the city and all those who relate to Westlife Church, who are waking up and they're cracking open their Bibles and they're getting ready to journal and to position themselves to hear from God. What are my instructions for today? What does God have for me for this day and for this period and for this season of my life?
This year we want to be intentional about creating an atmosphere where everybody feels welcome, where everybody is willing and feels comfortable to invite their unsaved friends and family.
I really believe that worship is about people getting closer to Jesus. I think that's what the act of worship is. And I'm reminded about, the children wanting to come and get closer to Jesus. And some of the disciples were like, no, can't have that. But Jesus is like, yeah, let them come. And I reckon that's what church needs to be about. Church needs to be about everybody being welcome to come, get closer to Jesus. Doesn't matter whether you've been in church for 1 week, doesn't matter whether you've been here all your life. I think it's just about everybody coming and worshiping Jesus where you're at.
Our journey started in 2011, would have been the middle of the year. I was trying to look for a church that was local for the kids and for our family. My background is a Catholic, but I wasn't going to church every Sunday, probably only for Easter and Christmas, to be honest. And one day I said to my mum that, we need to find a church. And I saw the sign for Westlife, and I thought, well, it sort of called me. It said, come. Sal's always been working back then 7 days a week, so he wasn't with us.
Yeah, I used to work 7 days a week. Kind of a workaholic. For Father's Day, Tanya said you have to come to church because they're having a special thing and you're going to get a gift. So I went especially for the gift. It wasn't until Easter in 2012 when I spoke to Pastor Paul, and then he made me realize that I didn't have to work 7 days a week. I started going to church more regularly. Being Catholic, I've been a Catholic all my life. We used to go to church every Sunday with my parents, but since I got married, we didn't connect with Catholic Church. The girls didn't find it exciting. So then now Sunday is the favorite day of the week.
So when we decided to take the leap, getting baptised, it sort of brought up a bit of the past and had to a bit confronting of the issues personal issues I had to deal with, and it was good to take that leap, to be able to just stand out and realise, I do want to take my life further now. I don't want to just be in the same spot. I just want to grow, and there's no way I could get any further if I didn't sort of give myself to God. And that day when I sort of thought, yep, I'm going to give it, our family's growing.
Yes.
I guess since starting at Westlife, people have noticed a change. Definitely Sal's family has noticed a change in Sal. It's been good.
Where Tanya's taken a further step in helping at K Kingdom. She's taken a bigger role. We started reading the Bible together as a family. So we're doing the reading journals. So each evening after dinner we all sit together and we do a verse each of the Bible.
And we want to encourage other people that, you can grow. You just have to learn to sort of give yourself and not be scared or afraid. It's sort of just step out of your comfort zone and encourage people to grow and to invite more people in and realise that, this is a wonderful community, a wonderful church, and it is not just a church, it's a family, and I think that's what we've found. It's a family for us. Yeah.
In church frame you can get there's big church and then there's little church, but part of the church's vision being raising generations, and part of everybody building it together is age doesn't become a barrier. It becomes about us all coming together with what God's given us to do in the season and in the time and in the age that we have.
I'm really excited about what this means for young people, that the young people in our community have somewhere to belong.
For true transformation to happen in our community, we have to get everybody in every walk of life empowered with a vision to see that if we can win one manager, one boss, one employer, like a family, the whole ripple falls through, that we can really change.
I love this spot right here. It's a quiet spot in my backyard. I can hear the waterfall from my pool, just putting a steady sound, just a really inviting sound in the background. And I'm sitting here contemplating the universe. And I'm reminded of the times when I tried to do this job by myself, trying to level out this backyard. It was backbreaking work. And it wasn't until a few of the guys in the church came to me and said, "Pastor, we'd love to help you with this backyard." And so we ended up getting around 12 guys, just went right into this thing, and we were able to do most of the work in a day. And it was so easy when everyone came together, when everybody was involved. The task of making something beautiful became so much easier. And I'm reminded that church and life is much the same way, in that we're not created to be doing things alone, but that my little place in the universe will affect somebody else. And if I try and affect change in my personal life, it's a lot more slow going. But when other people are involved, when everybody is involved, that change takes place quickly and it's a lot easier. And I wondered to myself, why is it that we try and do life by ourselves when we can get everybody involved in helping us out? And it's these things that create the greatest amount of changes in our life. This is when true transformation takes place, and that time period that would normally transpire over a long period of time is brought forward.
Then when we go knowing that everybody has a story, everybody can make a contribution, then we are in their lives, they are in our lives. That's making God real.
Seeing that going out and seeing everybody getting engaged and being part of community, that was a window for me of, man, this can be so awesome when everybody gets engaged.
We've got to start seeing our mission field is to change every structure.
Because local church was never meant to be confined to a Sunday service.
If everybody puts their hands in and says, "I want to make a difference." We're not meant to be a church that is insular. There's the internal transformation that takes place, which is exciting, but equally so is the external change when our city begins to change.
And I love the fact that this year, as we grow as a church, is we're not restricted to what God can do on a Sunday, but instead we're open to what God can do all around us and all around through us in every walk of life, no matter where we're from, no matter what background we have. We can just come just as we are, and He can take everything that means and make something beautiful from it.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. This has been my life story. I was raised in a Christian family from a young age, brought up to love God, serve God. As far as I can remember, I was always, playing the drums. I always loved worshipping. Just being a part of the church community. I had a lot of friends, a lot of family went to the same church that I went to. It was only until I was roughly 12 years old that all came to an end. I guess I'm not really sure how it all came about, but what I do remember is my family and my father and my mother saying that we're not going to our home church anymore. Through this, we were separated from our friends and family. Even in the community that we lived in, as we'd walk through shopping centres, run into old friends from our previous church and find them running in the other direction. This was a pretty hard time, in our family, as it's sort of like we had everything and in 1 second we lost everything. I guess through this time was my early high school years, and going from church to church, I found that I was just disconnected. I found myself disconnecting from God and disconnecting from my faith. I got into, pretty much what every teenager does at high school. You start hanging around the wrong crowd, you lean against paint and paint starts to stick to you. I started getting into, drinking. Even when I was 18, I tried drugs. It sort of came to a turning point where I just gave up on church. I guess the belief system is, I just felt that church and sort of Christianity just let me down, and so I just go down my own path. I was playing in a worship band with the Catholic Church, but still living a sort of a pretty dodgy lifestyle, living with this girl, you know, sleeping with this girl. I guess it came all to a head when I played this one gig, and there was a cross at the foot of the church, and I had time to sort of, you know, think about stuff, and so I just pray that you make or break the situation on Monday. So I came back on the Sunday, and on the Monday we broke up. I felt like I wanted to die. I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. I felt like my life was over. I guess just through the grace of God I got through it. One night I was watching TV and I felt like God asked me to come back to church. I was pretty hesitant. I was like, nah, God, you know, I'm over it. I'm over it. I love you. I love breaking stuff over my life. I love getting the healing, but I'm not really interested in trying to get back into church. But God was persistent, and He was like, nah, I want you to do it. I want you to come worship me. I felt like God saying that, you know, regardless of your pain, regardless of your suffering, regardless of, you know, what you've been through in the past, even if this church hurts you, even if people don't accept you, worship me no matter what. So I was like, okay, God, I'll give it a go. I've never looked back. When I went to Westlife, as soon as I walked in the front door, everybody accepted me, everybody loved me. I've been at Westlife now for roughly 6 months, and God has blessed me in so many ways. Not only do I have relationship in Westlife and friends that I'll cherish forever, I'm currently now playing the drums, serving God the way He intended it to be. It's hard, you know, it's a hard walk, you know, coming from a place where, you know, your walls and your comfort zones have fallen around you. And I guess my walk has been sort of that journey where it's like the make or break, you know, whether you're going to stand tall or whether you're going to lay down flat. But the famous saying goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.